You know, the AI revolution isn't some far-off thing we're waiting for. It is happening right now, every single day. But what does that actually look like on the ground? Well, to figure that out, we're going to zoom way in on just one 24-hour period and piece together the story of AI, one headline at a time.
We hear so much about these massive, game-changing AI breakthroughs, right? But what does the day-to-day progress actually feel like? Is it just a series of huge explosions of innovation, or is it more like this constant, quiet hum of activity that's just always there in the background of our lives? So, to get an answer, we did something kind of interesting. We took all the news from just one single day, January 21st, 2026. And by connecting these dots, these seemingly random headlines, a surprisingly clear story starts to take shape. It's a story that really shows the promise, the peril, and yeah, the very real price of artificial intelligence. Okay, first, let's talk about something real, something physical. AI isn't just code floating around in the cloud. Nope. It has a real, tangible footprint in our world, from the massive amount of energy it uses to the very real problems it can help solve. And check this out. A really fascinating analysis by a programmer named Simon P. Couch puts this into perspective. He figured out that a pretty typical day of coding with an AI tool, something like Anthropic's Claude Code, uses about the same amount of energy as running your dishwasher. Wild, right?
And we're not just talking about asking a chatbot a simple question here. This is about what we call agentic AI. These are the systems that can actually do complex, multi-step jobs all on their own. They're incredibly powerful, but they have a serious energy appetite, and that's a real-world cost we just can't ignore.
But of course, that cost doesn't exist in a vacuum. On that exact same day, we see the other side of the coin, the absolutely immense potential for AI to do some serious good out there in the physical world.
A headline from that day reports a massive $50 million investment, and it's coming from two absolute giants, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and OpenAI. The big question is, what's all that money for?
Well, it's for an incredibly powerful human-focused mission. The goal is to get AI tools into 1,000 health clinics across Africa to help tackle a chronic and frankly dangerous problem, a shortage of staff. The AI isn't there to replace doctors. It's there to assist them, handling things like diagnostics and paperwork to free up those overburdened healthcare workers so they can focus on patients.
All right, so let's shift gears. We're moving from the physical world of clinics and power grids to the digital world that lives right in our pockets. AI is becoming deeply, deeply personal. And that, well, that brings a whole new set of trade-offs to the table. Take South Korea. The fintech app Toss has already signed up over 1 million users for its FacePay service. I mean, that's a huge sign of just how fast we're all adopting AI-powered biometrics for everyday convenience. No wallet, no phone, just your face. Pretty amazing. But on that very same day, we get a really stark warning from Meredith Whittaker. She's the president of Signal, the super privacy-focused app, and she calls this exact trend, this deep integration of AI into our personal lives, perilous. Here's the thing. For an AI assistant to be truly useful, it needs to see, well, everything. Your emails, your messages, your calendar. And Whittaker's warning is that when we give it that kind of broad access, we're basically creating one central point of failure. A huge new vulnerability that kind of undermines the whole idea of private encrypted communication.
So now let's zoom out from the personal to the global. All this technological tension, it's creating massive waves in the economy. Investors are placing enormous bets on what they think the future is going to look like.
And while some people see all this disruption and frankly get a little scared, others see a huge opening. You've got Orlando Bravo, a giant in the private equity world, who argues that all the anxiety about AI wiping out old software companies has actually created a huge buying opportunity.
His bet isn't on some flashy new startup that pops up overnight. No. His thinking is that the real long-term winners are going to be the established companies, the ones that already have customers and infrastructure, but are smart enough to weave AI into what they already do. It's a big bet on adaptation, not just pure disruption. And the big bets just keep coming. On that same day, the investment firm Galaxy Digital announced that it raised $100 million for a new hedge fund.
And the fund strategy basically gives us a roadmap of where they think the future's headed. It's this blend, right? Part of it is in crypto tokens, but the majority is in more traditional tech and finance stocks. This is a bet on these worlds all coming together, a future where AI, crypto, and the established economy are all tangled up.
So, after all that, what does this one single day in the AI revolution really tell us? Well,
When you start putting all these different headlines together, a really clear, if complicated picture starts to form. The story of this one day is really a story of tension. For every single incredible promise, like helping doctors in Africa or creating new ways to invest, there is a matching peril or price. We're talking huge energy costs, profound risks for our privacy, and major market disruption.
And what this really shows us is that AI isn't some simple good or bad story. It's just not. To really get what's happening, you have to be able to hold both of these conflicting ideas in your head at the same time. The progress and the problems are happening right now, side by side.
And that leaves us with one last and maybe the most critical question. This technology is moving forward, fast. It's weaving itself into the very fabric of our lives, our economies, our societies. So the real challenge ahead isn't just about building the tech. It's about deciding, together, which of these trade-offs are ultimately worth the price.